Hello students, in the last lecture we were doing LC oscillation circuit and we derived that Q was equal to Q naught cos omega t, where the capacitor was initially fully charged. So the charge deposited on the capacitor or the charge stored in the capacitor was maximum, which was denoted by Qm at that time, that is at t is equal to 0 the maximum charge was Qm. Here we have used the symbol Q naught. So you can use either of these two symbols. Then the current in the circuit was I naught sine omega t, because when the inductor was connected to the capacitor and the circuit was closed, the electrical energy was converted into the magnetic energy. And we have seen that after half cycle the polarity of the capacitor changes, and now the inductor is fully charged and the capacitor is fully discharged. Now the current reverses in the circuit and the magnetic energy is converted into an electrical energy. So vice versa, this oscillation keeps on. Electrical is converted into magnetic, magnetic is converted into electric, and so the circuit was known as an LC oscillation, and its differential equation was found to be like this: d square q by dt square plus omega naught square q was equal to 0, where the LC oscillation natural frequency was omega naught is equal to 1 upon under root LC. Now this is an ideal situation. This is the general equation of simple harmonic motion or simple harmonic oscillator. However, in actual practice, this oscillation becomes damped. Like a pendulum, when it is oscillating due to the presence of air or the friction, the oscillation is damped and finally the oscillation die down. Now this situation, what we have assumed that the inductor possess zero resistance, or the resistance of that inductor is zero. However, in real practice, the resistance of inductor is not zero, so it produce damping of charge. So it produces damping of charge and current and oscillation die down. So we assume that the inductor have some resistance. So the simple harmonic oscillation where we have assumed the damping to be zero, which is not the case in actual practice, and slowly with the passage of time, this resistance produces the damping of the charge or the current in the circuit. However, even if the resistance is not zero, the total energy of the system start decreasing. Now energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So where this energy goes? This energy is radiated in the form of the electromagnetic waves, and therefore this circuit is used in the transmitter of transmitter of the electromagnetic waves. So whenever we want to transmit the electromagnetic waves, we will take the help of this LC oscillation circuit. So if resistance is not zero, so even if resistance is not zero, then also total energy is radiated in the form of electromagnetic waves, and hence the total energy, and hence it decreases. So the total energy of the system, which we have assumed in the previous lecture, half Q naught square by C, this was the total energy. Initial energy was half Q naught square by C, and the final energy will also be this, because energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So even if we assume that resistance is not zero, the total energy of the system will decrease. It will not remains constant. It is radiated away from the oscillation circuit in the form of electromagnetic waves. So this circuit is widely used in the transmitter of a radio and TV. So we will see how the electromagnetic waves is radiated from this LC oscillation circuit. Now there is an analogy between the mechanical system, that is a simple harmonic motion or simple harmonic oscillator, and this electrical system. So whatever role was played by mass, same role is played by inductance in this. The force constant, that is K. Here we have a reciprocal for reciprocal of capacitance, that is 1 by C. Then role of displacement, here we have charge, velocity dx by dt, so current I dq by dt. Mechanical energy was the sum of the potential energy plus the kinetic energy. Here electromagnetic energy is the energy stored in capacitor at any instant plus energy stored in inductor at any instant. The sum of this is always equal to half Q naught square by C. This is the sum of so this will always be equal to half Q naught square by C. And omega naught here is 1 upon under root LC. So here L role is played by M and C is the reciprocal of the force constant. So we have seen that this is the natural frequency of a simple harmonic motion, or you can say a simple harmonic oscillator. So this LC oscillation circuit have an analog between the mechanical system and the electrical system. Also this analogy or this comparison is important for your MCQ. Many times it is asked what is the analogy of mass in an electrical system. So you go through this comparison of the mechanical system with the electrical system. Now let us see example 7.11. The question is, show that in the free oscillation of an LC circuit, the sum of energy stored in the capacitor and the inductor is constant in time. So we have to prove that the sum of the electrical energy and the magnetic energy stored in inductor is constant, or it is independent of the time. So we know that for free oscillation of LC circuit, omega naught is equal to 1 upon under root LC. This was the equation we have derived. Also, Q is equal to Q naught cos of omega t, and I is equal to I naught sine of omega t. Now let Q be the charge on capacitor at any instant. Therefore, the electrical energy E is used for an electrical energy, that is half Q square by C at any instant. So Q was the charge at any instant. We substitute this Q here. So it becomes half Q naught square cos square omega t by C. That is equation number 4. Similarly, let I be the small I be the current in the circuit. So magnetic energy that is M for the magnetic energy, or you can also use the symbol B for the magnetic field. Now this is equal to half L I square, that is equal to half L I square, means I naught square sine square omega t, that is equation number 5. Now we have to prove that the sum of these two energy remains constant. So sum of energies, that is UE plus UM, is equal to half. We substitute equation 4 and 5, half Q naught square cos square omega t upon C plus half L I naught square sine of square omega t. Now here half of the equation is in the terms of C and half equation is in the term of L. So the equation that connect L and C is omega naught, which is 1 upon under root LC. So either I substitute 1 upon C or L is equal to 1 upon omega naught square. So this equation can be written as, suppose we want to eliminate L, you can also eliminate C. So here L is equal to 1 upon omega naught square into C. Now I naught. So here, if you remember, here I naught was equal to Q naught omega naught. So this symbol was omega naught. So we substitute I naught as Q naught omega naught and L as 1 upon omega naught square C. So therefore, UE plus UM is equal to half Q naught square cos square omega naught T, we put a symbol omega naught here, upon C plus half, then we substitute the value of L also here. So the value of L, that is 1 upon omega naught square C, I naught square means Q naught square, omega naught square, sine square, omega naught T. So we substitute these values. Now clearly this omega naught square is cancelled. Now the entire equation is in the terms of Q naught square and C. So half Q naught square is common. Within bracket we are left with cos square omega naught T plus sine square omega naught T. Therefore, now we know that this cos square plus sine square is equal to 1. Therefore, the total energy U is equal to half Q naught square by C. This is what we have discussed in an LC oscillation circuit. The equation is time independent. So the total energy of the LC oscillation circuit always remains constant at any instant. Now let us see question number 7.8 of the exercise, which is again related to the energy. Suppose the initial charge on the capacitor in example 7.7 is 6 nano coulomb. So we have the charge Q is equal to 6 nano coulomb, and we have to take the reference of 7.7, that is C is equal to 30 microfarad. We have to find out, suppose the total charge suppose the initial charge on the capacitor in exercise. So this is initial charge, that is Q naught. What is the total energy stored in the circuit initially? So initially the total energy is half Q naught square by C, that is equal to half into 6 nano, that is 36 into 10 raised to minus 9 into 10 raised to minus 9, that is 10 raised to minus 18 coulomb, divided by 30 microfarad, that is 30 into 10 raised to minus 6. So you substitute all this value here. So this is the initial energy stored in the capacitor. Now the question continue, what is the total energy at the later time? Now we know that whatever is the initial energy, that should be equal to the final energy according to the law of conservation of the energy. So according to law of conservation of energy, the total energy at later time or at any time, we are talking about the total energy only. So the total energy at any instant will also be equal to U naught, that is the initial. So at any instant the total energy of LC oscillation circuit always remains constant. That is what we have discussed in the previous example. Let us come to the last topic, 7.9 transformer. Now before moving on to the transformer, let us try to understand what is the need of a transformer. We know the RMS value of the voltage at our home is 220 volt, but there are many applications where the voltage or the value of the voltage required is high or low. So some appliance need a high voltage and some appliance may need a low voltage. So transformer is basically device which is used to transform the voltage from one form to the another. It means it can increase or decrease the value of the voltage. So transformer is nothing but it is a device used to transform the value of voltage from the value of a voltage to the greater or less value. So either we can increase the voltage or we can decrease the voltage with the help of a transformer. So it is device used to transform the value of the voltage to the greater or less value. Now we will see if you want to increase the voltage then more than 220 volts suppose, then it is called as step up transformer, and if you want to decrease the voltage it is called as a step down transformer. So there are two types of transformer depending upon the application. Either you want to increase the value of the voltage or you want to decrease the value of the voltage. Now what is the need of a transformer? Why you required to increase or decrease the value of the voltage? Now let us consider an example that this is a power station. This is a power station where the power is being generated, and this is a city or a town. Now every city or a town have a requirement of a power. So we need electricity in our home, everywhere in the town or city, on the roads or in the home, in the office, everywhere we require some electricity. Now this city or a town has a requirement of specific power which is in megawatt, but let us consider an example that this city require 50 watt of power. It means 50 joule per second. So every second this town or city consume 50 joule. This is the requirement. Now this requirement should be fulfilled by the power station from where the power is transmitted, or from where the current is transmitted from one place to the another with the help of the cable wires. So suppose these are the cable wires through which the current is being transferred from one place to the another. Now this cable wire suppose have a resistance R. Now the minimum requirement in order to satisfy the power need of this city or town, the power station should generate this much power. So this is a consumer and this is a producer. So power station is required to produce a power of 50 watt. We assume that it is an ideal situation where there is no losses, but we know because the cable wires are thick, they are not a thin wires. So you can see in your surrounding there are the transmission cable or transmission wires through which the electricity flows. So they are thick wires, so they have some large resistance, so there will be a power loss. But let us assume ideally that this is the power consumed by the city. So let us put a subscript C, and this is the power produced by the power station. So at least this power produced should be equal to 50 watt. So suppose the requirement is 50 watt and the production is also 50 watt. Now this 50 watt power has to be transmitted from power station to the city or town. Now power can be written as V into I, that is equal to 50. Now suppose this factor of 50 is written as 5 into 10. It means the voltage here V is equal to 5 volt and I is equal to 10 ampere. So the power transmitted or power production at the power station is 50 watt. So we are assuming that the V here is 5 volt and the current flowing is 10 ampere. So if the potential difference of 5 volt is established between these 2 points, then 10 ampere of the current will flow through the cable wire. Now suppose we know that this wire is a conducting wire, so it dissipates some heat energy. Heat energy is equal to I square RT, and heat energy per unit time is the power loss. So we know that this is the power loss is equal to I square R. Suppose I assume the resistance of this cable wire as 1 ohm, then the current flowing through this cable wire is 10 ampere. So that is 10 square. So it becomes 100 into 1 ohm. So what is the power loss? It is 100 watt itself. So this power produced at the station will not be able to reach to the city or town, because the entire power will be dissipated in the form of heat energy. So this cable wire is consuming all the power, though the production is only 50 watt, but see the power loss. So it is it is not possible to transfer the power or the electricity at this value. Now the major power loss is due to this I square. We have the power square on current I. So the major factor is current. Now if I want the power loss to be minimum, the current should be reduced in this cable wire. Now how it can be reduced? Now suppose I need the power constant to be 50 watt. So this is a requirement. This much power has to be produced because the city has a requirement of 50 watt. So this 50 remains constant. Now suppose if I make this value of V to be 50 volt, then the current becomes 1 ampere. Now the total power is 50 only, but the voltage is increased from 5 to 50 volt. Now what will be the power loss in the transition of this current from one place to another? So now it is 1 ampere. So 1 square into 1. Only 1 watt power is lost. So this 50 watt power at the city, the power supplied is 49 watt. So there is a loss of 1 watt power, that is 1 joule per second. However, this is possible only when the voltage is increased from 5 to 50. Now, who will increase this voltage? So that is a device. Transformer will be used to transform this 5 volt value or to increase this 5 volt value to the 50 volt. So it is a step up transformer. Now suppose I want to minimize the power. So let us make the voltage to be 500 volt. Then the current should be reduced to 0.1 ampere only. Then you multiply this 500 into 0.1, again you will get this constant 50. Now see the power loss. So power loss will be equal to 0.1 square into R. Now this is the case. Now this loss is almost minimum, that is 0.01. Now we have a 0.01 loss only. Similarly, instead of this V equal to 500, suppose I make it 5000 volt, then current is reduced to 0.01 ampere. So now power loss is almost 0. So at the power station, we should use a device which increase the voltage of, say, what will be the power station? Let us assume the source of the power station is AC generator. So this AC generator, the current produced from AC generator cannot be directly transmitted because all the power will be lost in this cable. So there we will use a transformer, step up transformer, which will increase the value of the voltage as high as possible as we want. Whether I want the voltage to be 50 or 500 or 5000. Now as the voltage increases, the current will decrease because the product of V and I should remain constant. So at a power station, generally we use a step up transformer before transmission of the current. So the current flowing in this cable wire should be as low as possible so that the power dissipated is minimum. Now when the supply 50 watt supply or the power reaches to the city or town, the voltage is, let us take this example, the voltage is 50 volt and the current that came through the cable wire is 1 ampere. Now in the city or town, again different devices have a different requirement. Suppose a device required 2 ampere of current, or you can say it requires 10 ampere of current to operate, or the device required 5 volt. Then again this device can be used to step down the voltage. So again if I step down the voltage to 5 volt, the current will be equal to 10 ampere such that the product in both the cases remain 50 watt. So in the devices at the city side or the town side, when the power or current comes through a cable wire, we have a large transformer connected outside the city or substation, or outside the society we have a transformer which are generally the step down transformer, because the potential difference between the two point is as high as possible and the current is low, and by that small amount of current the device cannot be worked, or the device cannot work properly. So we need the current to be more, and if the current is increased, the voltage is again decreased. Now who will decrease this voltage? Again the transformer, and that transformer will be called as the step down transformer. So transformer is basically a device which will either increase the voltage or it will decrease the voltage as the situation arises. We have to decide whether we want the transformer to be step up or step down. Depending upon our uses or our need, we can make a transformer step up or step down. So this transformer will also be working on the principle of the electromagnetic induction, or you can say it work on the principle of mutual inductance. So transformer principle is the principle of the mutual inductance or electromagnetic induction. And we know that in mutual inductance we have a system of two coils or a system of two solenoids like this. In this we will have a system of two coils which will be insulated from each other. So in the coming lecture we will discuss about the construction and the working of a transformer. So for the time being, you keep in mind that transformer will be used to increase or decrease the value of the voltage. If it is used to increase the value of the voltage, it is a step up, otherwise it is a step down, and it works on the principle of mutual inductance. So the current will be passed through one of the coil that we have studied in the previous chapter, and the induction will take place, or EMF will be induced in the other coil. And by changing the number of turns in these two coils, the input voltage and the output voltage will be changed. So we will continue this transformer in the next lecture. Have a nice day.